Everyone, welcome back to another lesson, the part two of JavaScript objects. Last lesson, we've talked about what objects are in JavaScript, and we also looked at something related to creating an empty object and assigning property to it later. And then we're able to see how you can use the dot notation to access your object. You can see that from the last example, we just use the dot notation as a way to extract out our object value. So in this lesson, I just want to demonstrate a few examples of how objects can be created in JavaScript. So I'll take this out and I'll start all over again. So this time around, I'm going to make a normal object and do this. So then under and do the mode thing do this initial year 2025. Sorry, here is comma not semicolon color. Can say the color is green. What else? What other values can the car has? Maybe I can just do engine or whatever. I don't know. Engine. I'll do something like maybe turbo physics. I think this is another properties that a car can have. And then if I want to access each of these, just take a look. If I do let value equals to, if I want to get the first name out, I'll just use the dot notation to get it. Dot car dot name, and then I can do my usual documents. I get element by ID. My ID is this demo that you can see in my h6 dot inner html equals to value. And I think right now you can see on that. So I can use this dot notation to get any property of the car. If I change this to model, just take a look. If I change this to color, you should see red. What is the color I did it? Okay, car dot color green. Good. Car dot engine. This as well is changing turbo physics. And so you can now decide that okay, you want to combine this together and say, okay, I want my value to be my brand new car is is then add another plus in order to concatenate it is car dot name, and you can see my brand new car is under, and this is where I'm adding it. So this is the normal way you can declare an object, and you can see that it spans multiple lines without affecting the output. You can see that here it is more neater and more elegant to read than if I put everything on a single line whereby we have to scroll. So this is what it means by object can span multiple lines and then it will still work. And then one more example that I want us to take a look at is by using the new object to declare the new object to create objects in JavaScript. And this is how that looks like. So when you give your object a name, person, then you set it to new object, which is this, as you can see, and then you pass in this opening and closing bracket. Then inside it, you can put your curly braces, which you can now begin to use for, the properties of that person that you want to create. So name John. I'll do last name Last name should be I think do something. Yes, age is 25. So here I can do the value of my age. So let me assign it to a variable. Let value equals uh, I am those this new object person dot sorry there's an error person dot name plus this is space in JavaScript plus last name this and and the age. Now you can see this. You definitely can see I am John Doe, and here I want to add space. So I put in space. I am John Doe, and I am 25 years. Perfect. So you can see this that this is another method of creating object. You can see the new object, the bracket, and then inside this is where we have that curly braces, where the key value pair goes in, which are the properties of that object. So now you will now realize that this second example and the first example they work the same way. They do exactly the same thing. We're able to access each of the properties by the dot notation and the value that we are trying to do to each property for that particular object. So in modern JavaScript, there's no need for the new object. There's no need for this way of declaring your object by just giving your object a name. If I remove this now to let you understand what I'm saying clearly, if I take this out now, you will see that nothing will still change. I am still getting the correct output in my browser. And that is because whether you use new object or you declare your object directly, it still works the same way. So there's no need to use the new object. And then another thing is that for simplicity and speed, it is always advisable and recommended to use object literal. Literal are just these key value pairs that are, placed on each line, breaking down into each line for easier access and readability. You can see how neat this is compared to if you put everything on the single line because a property can ask, sorry, an object can ask as many properties as possible. Just imagine a situation where this person's object has like 25 different key value pairs, 25 property. If we put it on a single line, it will be too long. But for simplicity, using the subject literal method of working with objects makes it more elegant and easier to read and access. So if I have more properties now, let's say I have like 9 by duplicating this. If I just duplicate this now and do this like this, you will see that if I change, if I do name 2 or it could be anything, name 3 or do name 4 or whatever it is. Now you will see, I'm just using this as an example. You will see that it will be more neater and easier to work with other than if you have everything on a single line. That is why object literal is recommended. So these are the way you declare objects in JavaScript. Thank you, and in the next lesson we'll continue.